Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. As I guess week number 2 of 2022 kicks off at Aqueduct. We had some rain early yesterday, like in the morning, and we're listed as good and harrowed. So that's the best the track has been since we got back from our break, as we had 4 wet track days. I think the biggest consideration, Anthony, is is the track going to go back to being a little more fair? And we see mostly fair tracks here, but speed obviously at a premium, and the inside good as well those first 4 days. But we'll have to see how things play out.
The 3-day break combined with the fact that we had a little more moisture, but the track has actually been upgraded to good. It started the morning muddy,
well,
now
nice
good
out.
and harrowed.
It's windy. It's also a little windy.
It is windy, yes. It
also got colder.
It's colder, it's windy, a little storm on the way, possibly.
It was spring weather over the way. I was in the paddock on Sunday. I went to see Steve Chris. They had the horse in, and it felt like a beautiful spring day.
Sunday was gorgeous. Yeah, Sunday was a gorgeous day.
Anyhow, you need to head over to NYRA Bets. Use the promo code bonus200. We will match the $200 initial deposit. Play through NYRA Bets. Keep the cash in the game and support racing in New York. $15 bonus through NYRA Bets. You got to opt in, of course. $50 or more on Aqueduct and Gulfstream. Off the turf again at Gulfstream. On the Tapeta. For, what'd you say, 7 races?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you said that.
I just gave a round number.
I don't know the exact number.
I wasn't sure.
I know there are only 2 turf races scheduled yesterday. I took a brief glance at yesterday, and they were off yesterday as well. Anyhow, should we get to work? Race number 1.
Yes.
Race number 1. What'd you do race number 1?
I went to Linda Rice, second-time starter, Rush to Honor. Off the melee, off of Fresh Gelding. He did not exit. This was a little bit of a hungry bunch that he exited first time out.
You think?
I do. And now you see him return as a Fresh Gelding. I would say a bit of a freshening, but that's a little bit of an exaggeration. He's been gone 7 months. And you're going to see this a lot this time of the year. You're going to see these horses who ran for the tag first time out, running the special weight races.
A lot? You can see that a lot? I don't. But
no?
No.
You see it. I mean,
I think with New York breds you see it a little bit more. I think with New York breds you see it more often because they're more interchangeable. I don't think you'll see it with opens.
No, that's what I said. New York, did I not say New York bred? I thought I said New York bred. Yeah.
You may have, and I just
You'll see it with the state breds that it's a little more interchangeable. I think there's a good word for it. And,
I didn't get this horse.
Really?
I thought this horse came out of a terrible race. I know Linda's good with second-time starters. This one's been off 7 months. This one didn't take a nickel the first time out. Didn't do any real running. Wasn't for me. I mean, I guess the other, Linda, and the board obviously makes no sense at this point. Son of an X is going to be the longest shot on the board, not the 5-2 favorite.
Right.
So there's probably very little money bet. I mean, Feathers Road, the problem with Feathers Road is twofold. This horse is really well bred for turf, and that's one of the reasons you and I bet him last time. And I also wonder why would we be convinced this horse wants a mile?
That was the thing that probably, and here I'm going to turn away while we watch the replay.
Oh, yeah. Let's suffer this pain again.
You want to do it again?
I should have this exactly.
Me too. Stupid,
not having.
So yeah,
$200.
I think that was right. It's exactly what it paid.
Moronic.
Yeah, we're idiots. I think that was the bigger question, right? I mean, he didn't run that badly in the slop first time out. But
no.
what in his 3 races, what has led us to believe that he really wants to go a distance around?
Well, he's a quality road. He shouldn't have a problem.
He shouldn't have a problem with it, but
he doesn't. And I just think he's probably a better turf horse. But he can win, and he's probably going to be the favorite. I'm not. I like these 6. Mom's eye candy in this race. They paid $350,000 for this horse a long time ago.
A long time ago.
3.5 years ago, actually, and made the 1 start on synthetic. Well, first of all, this horse has speed, which I like.
In a race where there is none signed on, save her.
The 2 will be forwardly placed, I think, in this race.
Okay.
But you look through. There's plenty of good dirt pedigree. There's plenty of good horses. Include Betty is in here, won the Mother Goose.
Those are Meyerhoff, right? I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Or Brenton Jones.
I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, this horse has plenty of dirt pedigree. It's a lot of money to pay for a Carpe Diem or sold in Saratoga. I'm not in love with this horse, but I thought he was an interesting sort of the stranger in a race where I don't like anything that I've seen from anyone here. I mean, you want to bet Got the Gold. Got the Gold, arguably in some ways the horse to beat. It's just had too many chances. I'm not a big fan. Horse can win, but I'll take the 6. I'll take the new face of the crew.
Okay.
Race number 2. Whatever price Waters of Merom is in here, you were about 1/10 that price to pick this one on top. And we'll take a look at this one. Now, what's the story with this horse? Louis claimed this horse at Keeneland?
I don't have the I don't know the whole story.
This horse was claimed by Darren somebody, and for Alan Kaminsky. It was a private purchase actually after the claim. And it's sort of interesting to watch because you can see the private purchase took place over a month later because you can see the works. If you look at all the works of this horse worked out for the first time in New York on November 15th. So if purchased, you have to wait that period of time to make the change. And I don't know. I guess this horse can win, but to me, this is a horse that's going to be a crazy, crazy short price off a blowout win and a claim, what looks like a claim by Chad Brown, even though it's not. It's a claim, but a private purchase. I don't know. Is he really that good?
That's a fair question. I will counter with, does she have to be that good?
Well, to justify her price, yes. To justify the 2 to 5 that she's going to be, yes, she does. And I don't know that she's really a lot better than the 4 Lanfranco file. And we'll take a look at that horse's race. I think we're going to look at the race 2 back at Laurel. I think there's an argument that this horse's races out of town actually compare very favorably to Waters of Merom. And, you know, Beneath the Stars beat that horse, a pretty good horse, won that stake, as you can see the next time out. This horse ran a good figure at Timonium, a figure that holds up to scrutiny. I don't know. I just don't feel as though there's necessarily a huge gap between these two shippers, and I think there's going to be a huge gap in price. So for me, I would much rather bet on the number 4 in this race, Lanfranco file, than Water of Merom.
Okay.
I think there's going to be a general assumption that Waters of Merom's just going to win, and maybe she will, but I mean
on the stretch out, she showed some more speed last time, even though they didn't go that fast. She's going to be forward, I would imagine.
Well, she didn't really show any speed. She has no speed. The 4's the speed.
Yeah, the 4's supposed to be in front.
Yeah.
But I don't, I know it's Keeneland and Churchill form, and then the Indiana Grand race as opposed to the Mid-Atlantic form. I'm going to side,
well,
even though you're
siding
taking
with
the
a 2 to 5
bite on the
shot.
price. I got it. I get it.
I understand. The other thing is that Lanfranco file is also a private purchase by Ben Mandello, who's a sharp claiming trainer. And Talia Lynch, it seems like her horse has been running lately. She's done very well with that horse that rode the bias to almost upset the stake here and bank sting on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Thought she was live. I know this horse today has a bigger price than Zero Kisses. I find that hard to believe, but I suppose it's possible. I thought this horse would be a clear second choice.
The Lanfranco file. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Me too.
I'm betting Lanfranco file.
Okay.
Race number 3.
Are you a Lanfranco file?
That's an obnoxious name, actually. I assume that's a Frankie Dettori
I would
reference.
imagine, right?
Yeah, it's sort of silly. So, race number 3, form and a premium in here. Go ahead.
The 6, Aaron Hughes gets pair of blinkers, gets the Lasix back. Sources race on the turf at Meadowlands. Showed a little bit more speed, a lot more speed than he showed on the dirt. Getting the Lasix back, getting blinkers for the first time. Yeah, man. Like you said, form and a premium in here. You want the entry who's in all likelihood going to get over bet because they're an entry in here.
I agree, and I don't like either one of these horses.
Yeah, I guess any minute. It's really hard because any minute, the first 2 races, the horse ran last in his first 2 races, in a 3-horse field and a 5-horse field, and then off the layoff. But he gets Lasix. He's dropping again. He was off 6 months last time.
Well, you're going to see most of these newly turned 3-year-olds in New York getting Lasix. So
right.
It probably going to not make a lot of that because it's pretty much going to happen to everybody. By the way, Manny Franco not riding. He tested positive for COVID. I believe I read he can come back Sunday. I texted with Manny yesterday. He said
texted
he had,
too. I didn't ask him when he was coming back.
He had no symptoms. He said he was doing fine.
So Raul Mena going to ride the 1A, and Jose Baez is going to ride the 2. So everybody knows.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might have been Joan Baez, so thank you for that. I picked the 2 Creative Magic.
This guy.
First of all, this horse runs.
It's not Joan Baez, though. It's Jose Baez. You're okay with that?
Baez. Joan Baez. Why would you privately purchase this horse? This horse is only dirt racer on sloppy sealed tracks. I know the horse, but the horse did show speed. I don't know. Why not take this horse? Why is this horse supposed to be a huge price in here?
Yeah, I mean, first time, not sloppy track,
Yeah,
not sealed track.
What running have any of these horses done? I mean, the 4 is going to get bet because it's
It's Juan Vasquez.
It's Juan Vasquez and it's Jose Ortiz. This horse was not wide, by the way, in case anybody's interested. This horse was as
It's kind of a blanket statement, right? Because if you're not on the rail, you could be considered wide.
Yeah, I mean, he was wide in the stretch, late in the stretch, but he was too wide in the turn. And it's such lazy chart calling to say those things, you know, because wides in the stretch mean nothing. This horse was too wide. He didn't have any speed. I mean, I guess he could win. It's Juan Vasquez. I mean, in a lot of ways, I would have put him on top. I just decided in this race to go fishing because I'm not endorsing horses at 3-1 in this race. And why can't the 2? Joe Parker's won some races around here. He doesn't have too many starters. I think he's won for this owner, as a matter of fact. Why would they privately purchase this horse? I mean, for all I know, they didn't pay much money for him. I doubt they did. I hope they didn't.
Well, you better.
What was the name of the horse that Joe? I know the name, but what was the name of the horse that Joe Parker had about 20 years ago in the winter that had a huge win, like the Whirl Away or something, and supposedly turned down a ton of money for?
Was it?
I'm totally wrong. Shockingly.
Was it Russ Cohen's horse? Or no? Was it What a Pair?
No, it's Colt. No, they had big Derby dreams.
Oh wow, I remember this now.
Johannesburg Star.
Johannesburg Star.
Yeah.
He's in the. It wasn't that long. Was it 20 years ago?
Well, it was before I worked here.
I thought he was in the Uncle Mo.
No, it's before I worked here.
Oh no, that's the photo in the elevator is the Guyana Star Dweej or something.
Guyana Star Dweej.
It wasn't him. Johannesburg Star. That's right. Wow. How about that, Guyana? Do you think you're going to get Guyana Star Dweej today?
No, she was not on the. She wasn't on the roster.
What price was he on the book?
Race number 4, big scratch in race number 4.
Wow.
When Beautiful Karen came out. What are you doing here?
I can't believe you didn't have a dissertation ready for me with the Rainbow Gal pick here today.
Oh, what? She's 7-2 in the morning line. She's the second choice.
Yeah, but she's coming off the win, avoiding
I don't
claim.
like her, but that's fine.
Yeah, I had a.
What do you like about her?
Well, it was funny when.
Is there a rider name for her, by the way, yet? There wasn't.
It is Eric Cancel. Jose Ortiz on the 3, High School Crush. Eric Cancel on the 4, Rainbow Gal. So.
Jalen Samuel also has COVID. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Look forward to him back. Nice guy. Good rider.
Beautiful Karen on the. I was looking to stab against Beautiful Karen.
What do you like about this horse?
Well, I didn't know. When this horse runs where she belongs, she's competitive.
Okay, does she belong here?
Does she belong for 25-2 life? Considering she broke her maiden for the 40 and she won the 16-2 life, the 25-3 life.
3 life.
The 25-3 life seems like the next logical spot. I mean,
she's a Madonna's feisty gal. What do I think? I think if Big Q can put one foot in front of the other one, she's a lead pipe cinch.
But do we know? Are we confident that could happen?
Well, the problem is I picked her when she was second choice to Beautiful Karen, and now she's going to be favored. No, but I think she's a far more likely winner than Rainbow Gal.
Yeah, if you didn't like Beautiful Karen, which we didn't.
No, I picked her second.
I picked her second too, but we're taking a shot against her. This race becomes less attractive because now you go from second choice and I'm third choice to the favorite in the second choice.
You really thought you won a lunch on Sunday, didn't you? You forgot that was
you know what happened? They beat the field by so far. Aren't all of them considered eased? But that horse was eased. Yes.
We don't, when Anthony and I make these bets.
Jock falls off, accident.
Bad, terrible break, we always bet is off.
It's a bet off.
Listen, Big Q is who she is. But I'll tell you what, I think if she runs her last race, she'll win this race.
She probably will.
You know what I didn't think was impossible here is the 7. Guns blazing. Off the claim.
Should live up to the name, right? Just try and come out of there and just try and pop the field.
She's the speed.
Yeah.
Big Q shouldn't be far off.
Big Q, and really, the truth be told, neither should Rainbow Gal.
I do hear you. Big Q is not exactly the most reliable horse in the world. You're not wrong. You're 100% right.
If you take, you take apart the Rainbow Gal. She ran into Shaker Shack first time out, who turned out to be okay, and then you take out the Bowery. How are the 4 races a competitive Rainbow Gal?
No, I agree. I don't think her last race gives her much chance here, but her prior races.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you think she can improve off her last race? I don't take horses off wins need to improve, but in this race. I'm not getting on a soapbox against a horse in this race. I thought Tappan Zee was a little tough to like. But
I got yelled at the last time I said something by Alyssa Scatino, so I'm not going to say anything bad about Tappan Zee.
Tappan Zee? Source ran twice, ran in the dirt.
She yelled at me.
Okay. We're done for the first half. Late pick 4 coming up after a quick break.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. As we move our way to the card, race number 5. You know, Anthony, I don't. If there's a fuzzy in here,
this is the agreeing horses portion of the show. By the way, I mean, if you, and I am open to any and if you're
well,
out
you
there
picked
in
Flight
Twitter
Forward
land,
last time. You want to come back with Flight Forward? Not even the top 4. What was your? Why? By the way, why did you pick this horse last time? Big tip on Richard Lugovich?
No. If you have an idea in here, please put it in the suggestion box. I mean, there's just, if the 2 or the 6 don't win this race, it's like.
It's very hard.
It's very hard.
It's very hard
it's really
to make
hard
a case.
To make a
and,
case.
I mean, I guess the advantage the 2 has over the 6 is the 2 has more speed.
Right. Now there was, after the program, you weren't here, there was a little buzz on Cinnamon Dream last time, who did not run
at all.
2 steps.
And now is a 10-pound bug rider.
And now as a 10-pound bug rider. So you brought out the speed, going the mile. The story I got on the horse was going to be in front, and then the horse did not, I don't know about off slow. The horse did not get away as cleanly as I guess you would have liked if you were assuming the horse was going to be on the lead. So maybe now at a 10-pound bug, who is good getting horses out of the gate?
Nobody fast in this race.
There's nobody fast in a race. I guess if you're looking for the fuzzy, if you really don't trust the 2 favorites, that's the horse I guess you can stretch with.
Yeah,
but
I mean, look, the reality, not for me, but the reality is the 6 has never really run particularly well in the dirt.
No.
I mean, I think I just didn't want to take the 2 as the favorite here, so I went for this horse. Now David's got this 6 the favorite. I guess he's probably right. Get bet, but get
no,
bet.
the 2's the favorite, even money.
Oh, even money.
Even
okay,
money
right.
is 65.
Yeah, I just
It's
wanted
85.
a bigger price than the 2. I don't have much to say. I don't know. I mean, it's not like Exfiltration's done much running, but did run against better horses, and those races came late 2-year-old, very early 3-year-old. So there's plenty of room to improve from there. But believe me, I'm not. No, it's just if there's a clever horse in here, and I have the 3. You know, anybody like the 3 and 4 that've run once, I'm going to give them another chance. I mean, Flight Forward just did absolutely no running in that race. Fancy Feline, who won that race, should have been favored. I was surprised that she wasn't favored in that race. She won by 100. That was that track though, where closers actually did pretty well. Sure wasn't a bad rail though for part of the race, for what it's worth. No 4s on your tickets at all after picking the horse last time.
No.
Okay. Race number 6. I guess the discussion of race number 6. Oh, Winston just texted me. I did not know that. I did not remember that Winston had left knee surgery. So Winston, we do hope you're feeling better. You know Winston?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had I think he had a new knee put in.
Oh.
He's texting me, but he's listening to the show. He's making comments about Joe Parker. He's involved.
Well, I hope he does better.
I do hope he feels better. He's a great man, and a good friend of mine. I guess the distance is the question in race number 6. And we'll start with Chloe Rose, and we'll talk about that, because I think that her recent races are good. You know, she's run well since claimed Gustavo Rodriguez. She's the controlling speed in here. I think the question you have to ask yourself is, how comfortable are you she's going to get the distance? I'm not that uncomfortable with it, but maybe it's an issue.
I'm not. She broke her maiden going a mile in the second start.
Well, that
of
was
her
a
career.
very slow race.
Yeah, it was a slow race, but it was also, again, a 2-year-old fig. And her last 2 races make her as competitive as anyone in here. And like you mentioned, she's supposed to be the controlling speed in here coming out of those sprint races. And, you know, it wasn't like they were dawdling on the front end of those sprint races. They were going a decent enough clip, especially
Well, she's
2
alone
back.
speed.
Yeah, she's supposed to be
there's
gone.
no speed in this race.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a huge. I mean, on last week's track, she'd be tough to beat. The speed on the inside. Who's riding her?
Jose Lezcano's on the 1, and Eric Cancel is on the 3.
Okay.
So you know, and I feel like you do have some confidence that Jose is going to utilize her speed.
Well, she's alone speed.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't just lone speed be in front? I mean, Suspended Campaign is a more reliable horse than a mile. And she ran fine last time out, to be honest with you, and they're unblushable. You know, I have a world of respect for David Aragona. I hear you. David thought the horse got sort of shuffled out. I don't know, maybe a smidge. I never saw her do any running after that. But to be fair with Blushable, you got a trainer whose horses are very live. She figures to be the stalker in this race, sitting outside in second here. And it's a live barn, so I guess she can run better. I wouldn't discount her. I didn't feel like she had as big a trip as David did. Handicappers look at trips sort of differently sometimes. But I won't be shocked if she wins. I could see any of the 1, 2, and 6 win. I think Suspended Campaign is the horse to beat in this race, but I'm just going to try to wire him with Chloe Rose.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought those 2 didn't have as big a stranglehold or strong a stranglehold as the 2 maidens in the 5th race did, but yeah.
I think the 6. You don't think you don't
yeah,
have
I guess
the, you have the 4.
I got the more. You know, I'm going to ride the hot barn. I mean, this horse did.
This horse beat Freddie Mofac.
I'm well aware. I'm well aware, but
I'd like to bet you a few lunches the 6 beats the 4.
we could bet 2 lunches.
Oh, okay.
I'll take 2 lunches.
Oh, okay.
Where are we at?
91.
It was so deflating when you told me about the East.
No, you should have.
really bad.
You should have lost like 6. You should have lost 12 lunches. But anyway.
You should have lost 12 lunches. It doesn't mean me saying you should have lost 12 lunches.
No, I shouldn't have. I picked the winner of the 1 race, and you picked Gustavo. The only reason you got 1 lunch, and frankly, I probably shouldn't have lost that one. My horse was eased. The 1 was eased. I should have won all 3 in that race. Anyhow, race number 7 is a very, very, very hard race.
Hard race.
And there is some speed in here. I wanted to pick the 1 if the 1A scratched.
Okay.
You seem to like the 1A. What am I missing about the 1A?
I'm just hoping. I thought there was enough speed in here for the 1A to with that draw, to just kind of work out the right spot, just outside of the other speed. Right? I would imagine Patty H. I know Spun d'Etat. I would imagine Spun d'Etat is going. And I would just think that the other part of the entry is just.
But you're betting an entry where they're betting both horses, so you're taking massively the worst of it. I know that you're not. That value means nothing to you.
That's not true.
It does, Anthony, because you do this all the time.
I don't do it all the time. I felt like in here.
You don't. You think that your job appears to pick winners. It's not.
I don't think it is. I just feel
Yes, you
like
do.
of the horses, I liked, she was going to. You know, you're acting like there's going to be that big of a difference between the entry and Patty H. I can't imagine that the price is going to be that big of a difference.
It's so not the point.
So hold on a second. So you're telling me you feel like if they're 2-1 and 5-2, 2 horses that have, I mean, they both have legitimate chances to win this race, no?
Anthony, if you don't understand why taking entries, especially when you like the horse that would be the bigger price of the 2, is a bad handicap.
I don't know if I'm convinced.
I don't even know where I can go with that. I don't even know how I can explain that.
I don't even know if I'm convinced she'd be the bigger price of the 2. Maybe off their last races she would be.
Yes, you're right, the other horse, but regardless, you and I have a complete different understanding of this. I think picking entries and betting entries is a disaster. We shouldn't have entries, period.
Well, I agree with that, especially different trainers.
It's just ridiculous that they're an entry.
Yep.
The problem with, let's talk about Trini Luck for a second.
The race kind of goes through Trini Luck, right?
Well, yeah, but you've got Rudy riding a 10-pound bug.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Trini Luck, as we go back to a race in September, is this was a big inside speed track. This horse is completely and totally dressed up by circumstances in her race. She had everything go right for her to run those 2 big figures. And I have no real confidence. I mean, she was horrible short price in her last 2 races. And I don't like this horse, but she scares me a little bit. But why is he riding a 10-pound bug rider?
I don't know. I don't know. Again, kid's good out of the gate. And I mean, if she's shown us anything, that she needs to lead. Right? I know she broke her maiden from off the pace a year and a half ago, but she needs to lead. So, and it's going to be difficult. Listen, it's going to be difficult for anybody to clear in here.
Well, I know that's the problem with the horse I picked.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a problem with the 3. I'd be honest with you, Anthony. I can't pick the entry because I can't bet absolute bad value horses. I don't care. Win or lose, can't pick them. I'll never pick them on the show unless it's just ridiculous
You
value.
picked an entry the other day. You shocked me.
Who?
You picked an entry. You picked an entry the other day.
Which entry?
I don't remember, but you did. I was stunned.
Really?
It was like one of 3 entries you've picked in 5 years. Listen, Easy to Bless. I tried to make a case for Easy to Bless, right? But that race last time came back so slow.
It did. She didn't run badly last
She
time.
didn't,
It
but
did
I mean,
seem a
look at
little
who
bit
she's
on the
running
slow
against,
side.
right?
I agree.
She's running against better horses in her last 2, especially. I mean, even when Patty H beat her, it was off 10 weeks, and Patty H had a smidge of recency. I don't know.
I took Patty H. She has the most consistency of these. I'm hoping she doesn't get blown out in the duel. And as we look at Spun d'Etat, we'll look at her last race. I think the question with her, what do you do with her last race? Where did she come up with that number?
Where did that race come from?
And you're right. I mean, before that race, or the prior race was okay, but she's never run a race like this before. Where did she get this figure?
I mean, this fair. She had a 6.5 length win 2 back. And then, this is, again, why you don't have to worry about margins. I mean, she comes back with a figure 13 points faster. She's never in doubt. In her last 2 races, there was never a point where you thought she was going to lose. Never a point. She was home Jerome in both of her last 2 starts. And that's the question.
Eddie Barker's good off the claim.
Where did the last race, you can kind of say, where did the race 2 back come from? And then she comes back with the fig last time.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Right? I mean, she had the 174 figure.
Well, they
in the
did claim
slop.
from that idiot Tom Amos.
Listen, you don't see too many of them leave Tom's barn and win 2 in a row for 2 different barns.
And improve.
Going for 3 in a row. Right, improved.
Run the
and
2
going
best
for 3
buyers.
in a row in 3 different barns.
No, I agree. She's really improved. She's a random horse that's improved.
Yeah.
Those last 2 races were also 12 days apart. Now, Eddie's given her over 2 months since that race, but they were 12 days apart. I know some people like just read it in here, or read it, just read it, whatever. I think you have to be careful with this horse winning the Cicada. That was a preposterous 4-horse field, which, speaking of Tom Amos, I remember I bet this horse that day, and I remember almost losing to Exogen, who was ridiculous. It was 100 to 1. Because Tom Amos's horse, who was 3rd or 4th as the odds-on favorite, I hated that horse. That horse coming out of a phony baloney races from down in New Orleans or something. They came up.
Was it the Oakland or New Orleans, right?
In New Orleans, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was sort of a fugazi race. As much as I like Ray, I just don't know if this
I
horse
don't
is very
like him,
good.
so I don't, whatever.
Well, see what happens. It's a very confusing race.
It's a very confusing
I don't have a strong
race.
opinion for or against anybody. I don't particularly like Trini Luck. I think she's all dressed up in her good races, but what if she gets loose and just wins?
What if she's the speed of the speed?
Yeah,
Plus the others on the chase.
I'm.
That's what I put a second for that reason.
Race.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
I should have picked her on top.
I'm not gonna take a strong stand on or against anybody in that race.
Yeah.
Race number 8, I thought was an interesting race. Where'd you go in race number 8?
I went to Sunset Louise. This is another one. There was a little bit of a story after the program that she was going to be forward and she could run a little bit.
You always get those good stories. Those totalists usually have blinding speed.
No, that's what I mean. Nothing made any sense. No speed. Now you see her gone 6 weeks. They reached out for Louis Saez first time. Like a lot of that. Now she gets Kendrick. She gets Lasik. She's outside. Like you said, they turned 3, but she gets the mile. Right, far more suited to her pedigree to go to mile than it is to go to 3/4. They reach out for Kendrick. I would imagine, again,
Kendrick rides a lot
there
for
was a
Bruce
story. Does ride for Bruce a lot. There was a story that she had some speed. She didn't show any in her
It was a
debut.
bad story, so why we keep repeating it?
Maybe she'll show it stretching out with a race under her belt going the mile and an outside draw as opposed to being more towards the inside.
Here's some stats for Bruce Levine. Stretching out in the dirt with maidens, he's 3 for 38, 94% ROI over the last 5 years. He's 0 for 8 in their second starts. I put her 3rd I wouldn't be surprised. These horses tend not to win. They have that kind of look to stretch out. The horse that I prefer is Sweet Lies in here. This horse took some money first time out, broke 3/4 of a length slow and dropped back. This horse looked like one that needed that start.
Okay.
And I think that she'll run a lot better in here. Gets Lasix as well. You know, in some ways, Recaptivating is the horse that's going to take the most money.
I don't know what you do with that last race.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, she ran fine, and the truth is, she can win this race. Can absolutely win this race.
She absolutely can win the race.
It's just, there's so many new faces in here, whether it's the 1, it's the 8, it's the 7, even the 3 who ran the turf. I just feel like they're going to be better than this field. And Carrigate was sort of, I mean, the one thing you could say was, I don't know, was the inside good this day? No, I had this Fair Track the 9th. I had the fair track, logical horses winning. I just didn't want to take the horse at a short price, but the reality is, her last race is fine.
Yeah, her only dirt start. She can win off that race.
What about Tonight We Love for Michelle Nevin, second-time starter? Jose Ortiz is riding this horse, not Manny Franco.
Correct, Jose Ortiz.
Gets Lasix. I mean, this horse broke a legitimate 2+ length slow. I mean, this horse was significantly slow in there. I don't know.
Opus A. First time you mentioned the Lasix.
This horse
stretching out.
was also entered as an MTO in that race.
Okay.
So was not entered to run in turf.
Take a dime though, Andy. This horse was just completely ignored and got to be 25 lengths.
Well, kind of a tough race.
Yeah.
Tougher race than this one.
Tougher
I'm
race.
going to use this horse. I bet this horse runs better second time out.
Okay.
I'm going to go in that direction. All right, we are done. We're done.
I'm going to send it to Johnny I with plenty of time. You want to?
No, I'm going to go in my office and have some tea.
I had chamomile tea to start the day today instead of a cup of coffee.
Yeah, chamomile tea is more of a night tea. Since you're not a tea drinker, I'll tell you, no, it's more of a relax as you're going to bed.
Oh, my stomach was a little unsettled
No,
today.
it's fine, it's fine. I like chamomile.
Grandma,
I got those.
Grandma was a big chamomile
What
tea
you
guy.
really
when
should
Santa
do
was
is you
born.
should go to the Saratoga Tea and Honey
Okay.
on Broadway.
I'm not really a tea guy.
They have
like I said,
the best
I wanted
teas. They
I
have
just
great
wanted to settle my
loose
stomach
teas.
this morning.
They have those chamomile flowers. I have big bags of the chamomile flowers in my apartment. I always make a big mug of chamomile. Not always, but almost every night when I'm going to bed, I put it. Yeah, nice mug of chamomile.
Just wanted to settle down, settle down a little bit.
You could become a tea drinker. It's good for you. It's better. Put a little honey in it. It's good.
I'm an iced tea guy in the summer.
I'm an iced tea guy in the winter. Anyhow, you need to be an NYRA Bets guy or gal. Head on over to NYRABets.com. If you're not a member, use the promo code BONUS200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Head on over to NYRA Bets. $15 bonus if you bet 50 or more at both Gulfstream and Aqueduct, and you opt in.
Must opt in.
Must opt in. There you go. And
It's
that's
a good
it.
name for a horse. Must opt in.
Yeah, I like that.
Right?
Good. That's a great name. It's
It's a good name. I didn't say great. I said good.
That's a decent name. I like that. Okay. If NYRA Bets buys a horse, we'll name it Must Opt In. Or just opt in. We had opt.
I like must opt in.
We're done. We will.
Literally
I'll
and
be here in the
figuratively.
afternoon prattles. I'm assuming Maggie's here. I haven't heard otherwise, so Maggie and I will spend the day with us. Have a great day. Johnny I up next. The reprise, scratches and changes.